Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Hold on, I haven't finished.
Sorry.
Yeah. Today we bring you a topic which is based on popular request. We have been absolutely inundated with messages to cover this topic.
In this video, we're going to cover how you can make money while you live in Portugal.
Professional? Would I get the job?
You're hired.
Would you hire me?
Of course I would hire you.
On what basis?
Because you make half the travel.
Finding yourself a remote position. Now, this is more difficult than it sounds. And actually, the world of work is shifting. So many more companies, more traditional companies that may have not considered remote working pre-COVID are now much more agile and open to remote positions.
We're seeing a big change in the business environment. For just before COVID, just a year ago, we saw there was only some 1,000 companies that actually was hiring people remote, and we're coming up with a new term that's called remote first, where the majority of a company works remotely. What we're seeing after COVID is that many smaller businesses and also many bigger businesses now are closing down offices, lowering the numbers of office spaces and relying on more people working remote, which gives them the opportunity of working from wherever in the world they want.
Remote working is not everybody's cup of tea. It requires some self-discipline. You need to be prepared to work autonomously. You need to be very good at self-managing and motivating yourself and working without people around you. So it does take a core set of skills to be able to do that. On the other side of things, it gives you the autonomy that you wouldn't get with any other kind of job, any office-based job. You don't have to commute each day. You get to spend more time doing the things you love, going to the beaches, exercising, spending time with your family, your children, your kids, and you can say goodbye to those really pesky distractions. I remember when I used to work in the office and I would literally get about 10% of my work done during the working day because there were constantly people coming over wanting a chat. Now, I love a good chat, but it meant that I was not as productive as perhaps I would be working from home, for example. Now, there are some disadvantages to working remotely. Some of the disadvantages include missing being around people in a buzzing office, so you can miss that energy. Another thing is a tendency to perhaps overwork and not being able to switch off at the end of the day. You can literally just keep going way into the evening and keep responding to emails. Unless you're able to implement a healthy way of working, it can be quite difficult to know when to shut your laptop down. Then it can be very difficult to set a routine that works for you.
So I have done remote work from before remote work even was invented over the last 10 plus years. Working away from the people that I was actually doing work with. And what you see now here after COVID is that everybody is willing to take a Zoom call, a Teams call, a video call basically. And that wasn't invented 10 years ago. So even now, even if you're working in a remote team, in a distributed team, or whatever you want to call it, you'd actually have an opportunity of still being social with your colleagues, even if you are in different countries. So the remote work is definitely different, even if you've tried it in the past, compared to how it is now in most companies.
There are a wealth of websites dedicated to remote jobs, and one of the websites that is one of the most well-known is called We Work Remotely. Let's take a look at that. Here we are on We Work Remotely. It's one of the popular sites for remote jobs, and I believe it's one of the largest. It has a great range of jobs across different areas. It's got we're looking at design jobs. It's got programming jobs,
customer service, finance, HR, lots of different areas here. So have a scroll through, have a look at what different jobs are available. Another thing that I would advise is, let's just scroll up here to the top. If you click on the menu and have a look, there are different categories. So you can search by category, full-time, contract, etc. You can also sign up to some of their socials, which I would definitely advise you to do. They also have a daily digest, really recommended. Put your email address in and what types of jobs you're interested in, because you will get a really good quality range of information from the Daily Digest. They will send you information about events that remote companies are holding, like expos, where lots of remote companies will come along and they will answer questions and tell you all about their recruitment process, what they're looking for, how to get remote jobs, etc. There's lots of knowledge experts that come and do talks and webinars and seminars on, what sort of skills you need to have, how to win with your search. It's all really gold, valuable information. So definitely don't miss out on that. Sign up to that. And then if we go back to the main page, I'm going to select the top job here. So if I was looking at this, senior designer recruiter, I'd look, okay, it's full-time, it's design. And the key thing here is checking to see that it is, you can do this job from anywhere, because some companies specifically say that you need to be based in the US. So they might say US only, or you have to be within a specific time zone. So look out for that. Let's scroll down and see if there's anything else. Normally, companies are very good at being very comprehensive with their job descriptions. So they're very clear about what it is they're looking for and what skills they're looking for. So Automatic is one of the largest recruiters of remote staff. It's a remote first company, the company behind WordPress, and they recruit a lot. So you can see here on the right hand side, you can go and view all their jobs. This is as an example. So you can see all the roles that they're recruiting for. And it's like this always. Automatic are always recruiting. They're growing like mad. You can go on their website, or any company's website that you're interested in for that matter. Have a look around, get on their careers page, have a look at how they work, what their culture's like, their benefits. I would advise you looking at their Glassdoor page, see what current and former employees are saying about what it's like to work there, what types of skills they often have. I know for a fact that Automatic have various people from their teams making videos on YouTube on what it's like to work for Automatic. So, I'd go on YouTube, have a look at that. Just before you apply to any role, just make sure you furnish yourself with as much information about the role, so you stand in, so you put yourself in a greater chance of getting the roles. And these websites, a lot of these career websites are brilliant. They have so much information on, so you can go through that and take a look. So if we go back to the We Work Remotely page, back to all the jobs, some of them publish salaries, most of them don't, but just have a look. You can see this one here. I'll just click on this one as an example. See, this one's at the top here. You can see that it's North America only. So that will only, that would only qualify if you're actually based in North America. But many of the jobs you can work from anywhere. And another thing I would say is apply for as many jobs as you feel qualified enough to do, because it's a very, very competitive industry, and you want to make sure that you stand yourself in the best stead of getting interviews. So yeah, check that out. It's a really great website.
We will leave the link to We Work Remotely and plenty of other remote working websites down in the description box, so do check those out.
So, I have now been on We Work Remotely. I can't find anything that suits my skill set.
Okay.
Is there anywhere else I can go?
Yes, there are lots and lots of places that you can go to look for remote jobs. We're going to put a number of them down in the description box. But for the purposes of today, you can also look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn actually now have a remote working section.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I also think that big sites, like a big site in the UK that's called Indeed, also have a remote section now.
They do have a remote section. Another good place to look is Glassdoor. So Glassdoor have a lot of remote jobs now. Because remote working has become so popular now, more and more websites are cottoning on and they're adding specialist filters so you can search for your remote job. So in answer to your question, there are lots and lots of places to look. And to help you guys out, we will leave a lot of them down below.
And just one final thought on this. Even if you if you live in a different country than where you're born. So let's say, for example, my example. I'm born in Denmark, but I now live in Portugal. It would be easiest for me wouldn't be to, for example, get a job in London where there's a lot of competition. So sometimes you also have to seek back. It would probably be easier for me to get a remote job with a Danish company because it's more rare that you have my skill set with a Danish language ability. So think that way through for yourself, that if you are an expat like us and you've lived in a number of different countries, that you might have opportunities in all those different countries. And so check out all of them. And just because you have lived there for a while, you know it, you have inside knowledge, you know the culture, you know the language. So check those out and see if they are an opportunity for you. Even if you have lived in a country that are non-English speaking, even if you don't speak the language, sometimes they have companies where the only requirement is English. And they look for talent. Remote companies are hungry for the best talent, and if you're the best talent for them, they will be interested.
Absolutely. A point on geography is that many remote companies you might find are based in the US, but there are more and more remote companies actually popping up in Europe, and traditional companies, as we said earlier, who are operating on a partially remote basis. So they have people who are office-based and they have people who are based remotely. So do be open-minded about where you're applying to.
So if you're going ahead and you live in Europe or you live in Portugal and you're applying for a job in the US, what you have to look out for is that the biggest thing that they really look for is that they have some time overlap for that time zone. So, for example, that could be that you need to tell them that I'm fully comfortable working between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. if you live in Portugal, because then you have some overlap with most of the American states. So you're able to participate in meetings and so on. And if you do that already at the CV stage, that you make that point that you are available and you are aware of it, then they are more likely to give you a chance. So I'm a bit curious because I've never applied to a remote job.
Okay.
Since you are the expert here, I have some questions for you.
Okay, that's
Should we ask her some questions?
okay.
If I am going to try to get a remote job, does that work like a normal job? Do I apply with a normal CV, and how is it different from like an office job in London, let's say?
I would say that remote jobs are hugely competitive. You really do need to make your mark and try and stand out from the crowd. So what I would suggest is really making your CV remote friendly and working out what type of skills remote companies will value. So they will value things like the ability to be able to work autonomously. They will also value things like your technical skills. So being able to use Zoom, Slack, Google Suite, and all the other technical solutions that you use when you're working remotely. The other thing they will look for is they will look for your ability to be able to work with minimal supervision. So you will need to demonstrate on your CV or resume that you've either done that before, or if you haven't done it before, that you have the aptitude to be able to do so. So it's demonstrating in the skills section of your CV, your ability to be organised, perhaps list some of the tools you use for organisation. Maybe use Monday or Trello or any of the other organisational tools. It's good to list them all in there.
So I would like to come to the next question now. Does that also mean that when I'm in an interview process with a company, that I have to demonstrate that and like being more communicative on emails and like try to show that I am easy to communicate with, since there's now this distance between me and my potential future manager?
Yes, it's definitely good if you demonstrate your ability to be able to communicate remotely. So carefully, professionally crafted emails always go a long way. In the interview processes, you'll often be asked a series of qualifying questions in the interview. A lot of remote companies, I find use Workable, which is a recruiter tool. It's an applicant tracking tool, and they often ask a number of qualifying questions. I definitely make sure that you answer those carefully and that you put a lot of effort into your submission. If you've got a portfolio of work that you've done before which demonstrates your ability to do the job, include links to that in your application. Make sure that they can see your strengths and that you stand out from the other candidates.
So to the next question here, and probably the final question.
You're really grilling me.
Yeah, but I need to know everything because our viewers our subscribers need to see absolutely everything there, so they have the best possible chance to get a job. Okay. So we get more great people to Portugal.
Okay, go ahead.
That's the aim we're on here.
All right.
So is that do I just send my normal CV from 2010, updated with my married name, and then off I go? Or do I have to do anything special to have a greater chance of getting a remote job?
Yeah, don't do that. Don't send your old CV. What I would suggest you do is, if you feel that your CV could be a little bit better than what it is, and maybe get your friends or family to give it the once over, then I would get your CV professionally looked at. There are plenty of companies that do this. One company that I've worked with in the past are called Top Resume. They also have a British site. I believe they have a British site and an American site, and they're great. They will look at your CV. They'll do a quick review of your CV for free, so you don't have to pay for it, and they'll come back with their feedback. Now, if you do want your resume, CV professionally written, they will do that for you, and they have different packages to be able to do that. They will also give your LinkedIn a full makeover, which is an additional thing that they offer as part of their service. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.